Good morning. This video is brought to you by Cutco Transportation. At Cutco, we bring you a 29-year history of providing operational excellence in transportation, a broad portfolio of specialty transportation services, proven transport processes and procedures, consistent results, state-of-the-art technology, a commitment to health and safety, transparent communication and consistent workflows, and a customer-centric focus. Head over to cutcotransportation.ca and request a free transportation quote right now. Good morning. We are here in Similkameen Valley. The valley gets pretty darn narrow over here. Up in British Columbia, Canada. Karamias is behind us over there, and we're heading up toward Hedley, up that way, and then towards Princeton, following the Similkameen River. This is what our load looks like. Nice tall one on the front, a little bit of a shorter, light one on the back. Bit of a mix. I'll throw you guys up on top of the load there. I had to get the short mount or else I'd be legally over height. It's close. Had to measure. I'm gonna throw you guys up there and hammer down and see what kind of views we can get from this angle. Had to pull up my ladder so I can get up there and put the camera up. Move the ladder over. To somewhere where it's stable. All right. How's that look? Is that okay? Tether, don't forget the tether. All right, hammer down. Close our windows. Got a little 4-lane section over here. And then we go into the narrow, twisty, windy roads all the way up to Princeton. Beautiful day over here. It's 29 degrees Celsius. That little car was like 1.5 feet on the back of the bumper of that pickup. Crazy close. Like nothing can go wrong if you're following someone that close. Partially cloudy sky. Had some thunder and rain today morning when I was loading and tarping this. Like, and getting on top of a trailer. When there's thunder and there's lightning nearby. I'm not sure how good of an idea this is with a tarping station that's all made out of metal. And I'm like, well, I'm standing on just complete lumber. If for some reason lightning struck the structure I was using, it wouldn't go through me because I'm just standing on lumber. There's many feet of lumber and then rubber tires. I'm like, Don't think the lightning would go through me if I was standing up there. It's probably safe. Ashenola Valley to the left over here. Similkameen River almost completely dried out. Just a small little river now. There's a pickup down there in the riverbed. People drive down there and go fishing and stuff. There's a little road access right here. Definitely want four-wheel drive pickup to go down there. The riverbed's a little soft. So yeah, we loaded this today morning at 6 a.m. at Plesnikoff, Mass. Timber in South Slocan, which is just north of Castlegar, between Castlegar and Nelson on Highway 3A. And we're delivering this to Vancouver Island. Should get on the ferry tonight in the dark, cross the strait, be sleeping somewhere near Victoria. And hopefully on the way back, the ferry ride will be in the daylight and I can share it with you, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, engine brakes on full. Get to do a little twisty, winding road all the way up to Hedley, past Hedley actually. And then it straightens out and gets a lot smoother after we cross the Similkameen River to the other side. And the reason it gets smoother on the other side is because the road is built on the old railroad bed. A little too hot into that corner. So from Kirimias till Hedley there were actually two railroads, one on either side of the river. Which is interesting. I guess it would have been cheaper to build two railroads than another bridge by Hedley. Railroad would be, the old railroad bed is to the right of us, up on top of that bank. You see little signs of where the old railroad bed is from here and there. You kind of see glimpses of the old bed. No, I'm wrong. On the left-hand side, there it is. On the left-hand side, completely wrong. I'm like, where is it? I'm like, we should see it when we come up here. Nope, it's down on the left-hand side. Yeah, you see the little trail down there? Yeah, that's the old railroad bed. There's a tractor parked on it. John Deere? No, it's not a tractor. No, there's a tractor and forestry equipment. Yeah, so the railroad's down there on the left-hand side. My bad. And then, of course, there's an old railroad bed on the other side of the river as well. There's a grader working on that rustic campground driveway, making the driveway a little better. Must have added a load of gravel or something. So this is actually huge gold rush territory here. So we're going to cross the railroad bed right here. You can see the remnants of it on the right hand side there. Must have been a little underpass there back in the day. So yeah, there is a bunch of old abandoned mines. I know of a lot of them up on the right hand side of this mountain range here. We've gone splunking in a couple of them. They're actually quite dangerous because you just have open pit holes that just go straight down. There's some pretty big mines over here, hidden in the old little service roads or old mining roads. I know Olala has a bunch of fake mines. There was a fake gold rush. Somebody dug a mine and said, "Hey, we found gold," and then everybody moved in and realized, "Oh, there's no actual gold here." Now there's a town there because of the gold rush. Town of Olala built on a fake gold rush. So here's the old railroad bed where the tires are blocking it out so people don't park on it. I guess whoever owns it now doesn't want us to park on it. Yeah, they pulled a lot of gold out of these mountains here, a lot of copper. Hedley had the Mascot Mines, huge gold mine over there. They used to do tours there pre-COVID, but haven't seen them open after COVID. Here's a sign for Hedley Nickel Plate Road on the right hand side, right here. That little road, if you take that road, you'll go right up and over Apex Mountain and back down into Penticton. Having said that, never take that road in the winter, and if you're doing that with a two-wheel drive, very cautiously in the summer. Very, very cautiously. Welcome to Hedley. There's still old tailing ponds over here that have to be taken care of from the old mines. Someone sure did a lot of burnouts on the road there. They had a lot of tire they wanted to burn off. Is that the Houston Hornet? Old cars there. Public no longer welcome. And there's also old Colonial Inn over here too. On the right hand side. Unfortunately, most of the places in Hedley are closed permanently. Looks like that gas station might be... Looks like the convenience store is open, but the gas station itself is not open yet. So nobody was behind me until we got to the town, and people just speed through the town so much that I've got two vehicles behind me. If they had been behind me before I had slowed down for the town, I would pull over here and let them by. But one's towing a boat and the other one's a small car, I'm not going to pull over and let them by because I'm pretty sure I'll be faster around these corners than they will be. They just speed through towns. Exactly the opposite. If you're going to do speeding, don't do it in towns where there's pedestrians walking around. Don't do your speeding in towns. If you're going to do any kind of speeding, and do it in the middle of nowhere where there's no traffic and no people to hit, just yourself to wipe out. I mean, don't speed there either, but you know what I mean. Definitely always a fun little road driving through the valley here. Very, very golden though, so super dry. I was worried with the thunderstorm today morning we'd have a bunch of new fires, and maybe we do have a bunch of new fires. Luckily it also rained pretty hard too, so if there are a bunch of new fires, they won't be spreading super fast. Hopefully the firefighters can get on them pretty quick. The fire in Manning Park is still burning out of control. But the cooler temperatures is probably helpful. A little bit of rain, probably helpful. The lightning, probably not so much. Yeah, the cars that caught up with me in town are definitely starting to fall behind a little bit. Called it. clouds today. And luckily not a lot of smoke. Here we go, across the river. Sterling Bridge. Water is just crystal clear. Beautiful, beautiful clear water. Kind of has a bit of a turquoise look to it. Well, I guess we're going to catch up with some slow traffic. I was going to blame it on the big rig, but no, there's slow traffic in front of that big rig. I guess all the cars behind us are going to catch right up with us. Oh, by the way, last Friday's video where we stopped at the fruit stand, well, there's people fishing in the river. That corn, so good on the weekend. So good. Ate some of the cucumbers too. The blueberries, just loved them after she washed them. No allergic reaction to them after she washed them. It looks like the people ahead of us are pulling away again, so maybe there was a car that turned off or turned on that slowed everybody down. If I never catch up with them, that'd be the best scenario. A big gap of vehicles behind me, a big gap of vehicles in front of me. It's a win. That'd be a win for me. Nice living out here, away from it all, not as busy. Some old classic trucks in there. But yeah, so the road on this side is just nice big sweeping corners. No great elevation gain. It's just a very slow uphill because we're obviously following a river. Rivers flow downhill and we're going upriver, so you know, common sense. It doesn't really feel like we're going uphill, but we are. If you look at the altitude, you just slowly click the meters up. always have to say hi to the dragon. Bramley Rock. Very popular tourist attraction. People camp along there. There's a small campground. Personally, I wouldn't be a big fan of camping there because, you know, you're camping right on the highway and this road is busy all night long. Yeah, it's super busy, but there's big rigs running on this highway, wood chips running from the Kootenays to Vancouver all night long. I wouldn't want to camp along the highway, but Bramley Rock is just a big, massive rock in the valley that the river couldn't carve out and had to go around, making a funky, sharp corner. People always jump in the water, go swimming there, even though that river has got it's ice cold, guys. It's one cold river. How people can go swim in that river, I don't know, but people do. Looks like about half the campgrounds are taken up. The tourist rush is done. Most people have headed home. Here's the day use part of it. I see some people swimming in there. Crazy. Alright, from here on out, the road slowly gets straighter and straighter. The valley starts getting a little wider. Ooh, that's a big rock that slid down the mountain. Glad it stopped in the ditch over there and didn't come onto the road. But the size of a Mini or a Beetle. We got a cone over here for another rock that's come down. That one looks like it had embedded itself into the shoulder. And we always drive by and see all these rock slide areas and former slides and stuff and don't really think about it, but there's a reason why there are old rock slides here. The mountainside is unstable. You never know when you're going to have a huge rock slide coming down. I think we're still very, very, very slowly catching up with the peoples ahead of us, but the people behind us, I can't even see them anymore. They're too far back. I always love traveling along rivers. I think they're just so beautiful. Now my phone would not let me connect to my cameras today. Very obnoxiously wouldn't let me connect to the cameras today. So I have have no idea if both of the outdoor cameras are full of bugs or not. Usually what I do is I connect to one of the outdoor cameras and then just put the phone in the mount, and then you can see if a bug gets splatted on the camera. But can't do that today, so running blind. One of you guys suggesting building a little bug deflector in front of the camera that would make the air flow up, making a little wind air, like an air shield. The air would get pushed up, preventing bugs from splatting on the camera. That might actually be a good idea. Valley's opening up wide enough over here that we can start having some farmland. So as far as cameras, I don't know. I always ask people what kind of cameras people use, what kind of microphones they use. I'm a huge fan of DJI. I use DJI Action 3 cameras. The Action 4s overheat. I've stopped to 3s. If I buy a brand new camera, I think most likely I'll buy another 3 instead of a 4 if they're still available. Microphones are DJI as well. I think DJI makes some spectacularly awesome hardware. Their drones, their cameras, their microphones, the hardware is awesome. Their software is just garbage. Apparently, the software works very well on Apple products, but we're Android and it's always problematic. So we did catch up. Looks like an RV is the leader of the pack. Now the quadcopter I own, I never fly it because it takes me 2 hours to get the software to work, and once I get it to fly and work, it's awesome, it works great, but the software makes it almost useless. doing 10 kilometers below the speed limit. That obnoxious speed where it's slow enough to be a little bit annoying, but not slow enough that we can pass them. Cars can pass them, but big rigs cannot. Well, the speed limit just reduced to 90, so hopefully they keep going the speed they are, and we can be doing the speed limit now. Beautiful river. As much as I complain about always driving the same highway over and over, Highway 3 is a beautiful highway to drive over and over and over. Almost to Princeton here. It's a bit of a longer video, but we'll get through Princeton and then call it a day once we're through Princeton. I like to make my videos have a lot of wilderness, but also add towns, because if you're not from around here, it's always awesome to see how different towns are in different parts of the world. When I first started doing the YouTube travel thing, I avoided towns. I'm like, I'm just going to show people the beautiful nature. It's like, oh, wait. The towns are really interesting as well. And there's a helicopter with a bucket flying up there. It's probably going to the airport to refuel. Head back to Manning Park. So yeah, this is a 100% Australian team in charge of this fire over here. It's a huge fire. Luckily it's still burning far enough away that it's not coming near the highway. I don't think it will, but it is burning in an area where there are a couple of buildings, like 15, 16 people live over there down in that part of the valley. So houses are at risk. Every time I come through Princeton, I'm like, there's a Dairy Queen here. I feel like a blizzard. I want my ice cream. Huge copper mine in Princeton. The exit to get to the copper mine is right here to the left, where that big rig is waiting. Got to drive up that. It's a big copper mine. Of course, if they find any other precious metals or semi-precious metals, they save those as well, filter them out, they look for the gold and everything else, but the main output is copper. copper ore. Across the Similkameen River again. This town never had any traffic control lights until the huge flood that hit the Coquihalla Highway and closed the Coquihalla for a few months. And so much traffic diverted over here that they had to put in two lights, one over here and then just down the road to the right. 5A became a main trucking highway. It's kind of nice. It was always hard to do all those corners when traffic was busy. Alright, we're going to climb up out of Princeton over here. Call it a day. Good little pit stop if you're going along Highway 3, because after Princeton, there's nothing until you get to Hope. So you got many miles of driving, so fuel up over here, get some food, snacks, get a good stretch out, and then head down the highway. So for now, I am out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully on Vancouver Island. We'll see how that goes. You guys absolutely rock.